The bigger scary piece of this for me is not the replacement of jobs and people, because I understand the systems and I understand that there has to be a backstop for that, and nature will take its course and new positions will open up and new things will evolve, and that's just the nature of things. It's on the race to win this game is the scariest thing. The US versus China versus Russia versus whoever, that's the scariest thing. Is we're not collectively looking at this going, okay, we've got to be careful. The system's broken. Politics, education, religion, medicine, nothing, and I mean nothing, is what it appears. I can help people. So either get solutions or get off the team.
Who wanted to touch on last time, but time got the best of us. You said this shift is bigger than the internet, the AI shift. But a lot of people lived through the internet and came out fine. They adapted, new jobs appeared. The world didn't end. Why is this different? I'm not saying the world is going to end, but why is it different than that? And make that case to someone who is skeptical about it all.
I mean, do we have 5 days? I'll try and boil this down, but think of everything connected to the internet now, the Internet of Things. Every single thing connected to the internet, which is connected to everything, profoundly changes. That's the difference. Mm. The internet was an adaptation and an onboarding and onlining of many, many different services and professions and careers, and things were impacted at a different rate, although that was pretty big disruption. This is creating incredible efficiencies in every single thing touching the internet and beyond, but basically everything touches the internet one way or another today.
So do you believe this to be true, that the internet changed how we access and share information? AI is actively changing how we think, decide, create, and produce. And does it replace cognitive labor that was previously only human?
Yeah. This will augment every single named profession, every one of them. In some ways, incredible progress and adaptation. In others, not so much. But the bigger scary piece of this for me is not the replacement of jobs and people, because I understand the systems and I understand that there has to be a backstop for that, and nature will take its course and new positions will open up and new things will evolve, and that's just the nature of things. It's on the race to win this game is the scariest thing. The US versus China versus Russia versus whoever, that's the scariest thing. Is we're not collectively looking at this going, okay, we've got to be careful because we've already lost control of it. There's been enough leaked stories that have shown we're not in control of this thing. And if we're not in control of it, and at the same time we are in a absolute sprint to get to autonomous weapons, autonomous vehicles, autonomous defense systems, that's the scary part. Like, how I laugh about movies and I see reality in movies all the time. Like, this is fucking Terminator. This is Cyberdyne. Like, it's here right now.
And people laugh at that when you make the Terminator comparison.
Yeah, laugh all you want.
And reframing the way I say things. So people have to pay attention to the velocity of AI right now, where they compare it to the internet era, right?
It's not.
Now, the internet changed industries over time, and AI is changing industries simultaneously. And no one's really seeing that connection. No one's making that connection. They're just like, oh, if we could survive the internet, we could survive everything.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that we can't survive this, but people aren't paying attention to the rapid growth that we're seeing in real time.
They're being redirected into things like stop data centers. right? That's a lightning rod virtue signal piece that people get directed toward and feel overreach, government spying on us, all of which is true, right? So I'm not dismissing any of that, but that's the wrong place to focus, because if we don't keep up with energy, which will be the number one currency in the world, is going to be energy, not money, energy. Who
So
can produce, harness, generate the most powerful energy, quickest, cleanest, safest? That's the commodity. So you have energy, and then you have all of the things that are not just slightly changing because of AI. It is radically changing how information is sourced, accessed, digested. And there are still people that created the initial programs, right? Which makes you think, okay, we have it in a silo, but we've seen time and time again, it's on its own going outside of its silo. I was watching Tony Robbins' video the other day, and he has an AI agent. I forgot what he called it, Zorak or something like that. And this AI agent must have been given direction by him of what he wants to do, keeping up on trends, staying ahead of things, whatever. The AI agent, it goes in a thread on its own, and it's learning about these robots that are being purchased to help high-level executives, people, whatever. It then goes and finds a site where only AI, and we talked about this a while ago, they created their own language.
Mm-hmm.
They're trading currency, they're creating wealth, trading NFTs, they're actually executing trades, building up money. And the AI agent heard Tony talking about robots, researched it on its own, bought a robot with its own money, shipped it to his house. So he gets this thing and he's asking the staff, like, who ordered this robot and who paid for it? And they assume that the agent accessed his money. Oh, no. It generated its own wealth, used its own money, and bought him a robot. We're there right now, mainstream. Where do you think we are with DARPA? Where do you think we really are? So for people who want to not face the reality of Cyberdyne, which is a goofy way of talking about it, but it's relatable. Where do you think this tech really is right now? That's the scary part. That's why years ago we said we need to get this academy going. Because if we focus within, we're centered, we're balanced, we're not advancing just our self-serving agendas. We're trying to lift people up. We're overall happier. It just changes our trajectory. If we don't change our trajectory, I don't see how this doesn't go off the rails.
There's many people out there when they hear AI, they'll give a nod of, just another thing.
A search engine.
Yeah.
That's what they're using it for.
But they don't feel it. They don't, because you feel things. You always talk about you feel the weight of things and you feel things coming. And a lot of these people don't understand when you say exponential growth. Can you break down for someone who's just nodding along of the type of growth? And you touched on certain things of energy and cars and all that stuff, but why they should really start paying attention more than just nodding along?
The first question comes back to the individual. Are you truly happy? That's number one. If you're truly happy, God bless you. Do whatever you're doing because you're ahead of 99.99999% of the world. If you're not, perhaps we should look within and start to choose a different path. And as you start to choose a different path and you become more aware of what's real and what's not, that's when you start to see it and sense it and feel it. The awakening thing that I worked very hard to get to is miserable. Like, it can be miserable. Mm-hmm. If you look at it and go, oh my gosh, this is just headed to a certain place, and you don't do things like we're doing in our small little corner of the world to try and change the trajectory of where we are, this doesn't go well. So I don't know how else to explain the incredible impacts that we're seeing in real time and how ill prepared we are and in the education system to deal with this stuff. It's wild. It truly is the ultimate manifest tool. So let's use it to manifest good.
Moore's law predicted computing power would double every 2 years. The AI capability is doubling every 7 months. And that's just going to get faster and faster. But no one's seeing those dots. No one's connecting those dots. And
not no one, but
Yes,
not
yeah.
enough people are. More and more people are seeing those dots and connecting them, but not enough people are talking about what should we do instead of, oh yeah, it's this is happening. Okay, what are the solutions? Right, we're solution based. We're problem solvers. Let's start solving the problem. And the only way I could think to start solving the problem was start talking about it.
And you've talked about this for a while now, about human experiences being the number one commodity coming
in the future.
In the future. And that, along with just one time just picking up my phone and started recording myself, I've truly found happiness in creating social content, personal brand type stuff. And when you start connecting with people, like I have been recently, and my growth has just been exponential on social media, you can see how much people are craving this already.
Yes.
And we're at the very beginning.
So let's unpack that.
Yep.
You just said you're truly happy creating content. You're truly happy connecting with people. Why didn't you do that for years? Honestly.
Fear.
So you recognized fear. You did the work. You started doing all the things we've talked about, and your fuck bag ended up empty, and you decided, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Are you better off today than you were yesterday?
Yes.
That's it. Remove fear, anxiety, all of this fake shit that we have, that it's literally not real. We create these constructs. Anxiety is the fear of what may happen, which hasn't happened. So why have it? Right? And when you're sad and you're regretful and you're remorseful, it's for things that already happened. So that's not real anymore. It's over. That moment is gone. Yet we are stuck in this perpetual loop of fear and anxiety.
And the fear was there when I first started creating the content, because once I started doing it, the Boo Birds immediately had something to say.
But you did the work.
Yep.
And you were more centered, and you started to recognize the psyops everywhere. And in their own way, that's what that is. It's who's this guy doing this?
Yeah.
No. I'm going to make sure that I speak up here and tell him what an idiot he looks like. Not, good job, man. I'm proud of you. That's awesome. Fucking kill it. If you're happy, do it. How much of that did you get?
None. But it's crazy. Not but. Butts are for pooping. It's crazy because it's not crazy. I hate talking to you because you mess with my mind a little bit.
But that's the growth.
Yeah. It's when I first started, people I knew closest, my closest friends, just, oh, look at Mike. What is he doing? It's like, oh, he's trying to be like this guy. But it was the people that I didn't know, and still to this day that I don't know, are cheering me on.
There's no agenda.
Exactly. So at first it was mind-boggling that my best friends wouldn't say, look at Mike doing his thing. He used to be a radio host. Now he's just using that way to connect with people to bring people together. No, it was just like, oh, you're fucking weird doing this now. And it's just like, what the fuck? But they're starting to see the growth that's happening. And now it's like, oh, when you drop in part 57, yeah, just, you weren't along for the ride day one, but you want to jump on now while I'm growing?
And you're going to have to let that go, because the answer to that is yes. You went from paralyzed fear, not doing it, to fuck them, I'm going to do it. Now you're inspiring.
Mhm.
You're inspiring them. When they're criticizing you, they're not criticizing you. Whenever you strike a nerve in someone and you get that kind of reaction, all they're doing is mirroring what they feel inside. They feel upset that they look goofy if they put together videos or people are going to make fun of them. It's not a reflection of you.
Mhm.
Remember that. It's them echoing what is empty or missing or holding them back. Now that they see you're having some success, it becomes a form of inspiration. Then you can choose to say, well, fuck those guys forever. Or, yeah, man, I feel great about it. I'm doing good stuff. I hope you find your path. Doesn't mean their path has to be creating content, but it's all it is them reflecting what they don't feel good about inside on you, which is all of fucking social media, this massive negative echo chamber. But the right algorithms will bring you to like you guys joke around about my algorithms, like goofy Rottweilers and inspiration and funny stuff. And that's really empowering.
And to your credit, when you are centered and you start figuring this stuff out, dominoes start to fall, things start to make sense.
Synchronicities everywhere.
You see pictures clearly. Now, with the success that I'm having, it's very early and I know it's going to continue to grow, but I'm seeing dots and dots become dashes, right? And I'm like, okay, it's goofy, silly. How can I grow? How can I even monetize?
Of course.
This, right? So now I created t-shirts just to start off. Made 3 sales so far. Great. Person said, "Oh, I'm going to post it and promote your." Great. Okay, what can we do? I'm literally, and not to get off base here, but like now I'm seeing a whole show called Surviving New Jersey. Right? And is it going to happen? Yeah, sure. Why not?
The pathways open up, the universe provides.
Yep.
When you're in the right frequency and you're happy, it will provide opportunity and happiness. When you're anxious and fearful and upset, it will provide nothing but negativity.
I watched part 1 all the way to, because I did 22 videos on Just Moved to New Jersey. And I watched part 1 to part 22 in order. And if you doing that, you can see the growth and comfort from beginning to end. Like first I was a little sheltered. I was trying to be funny, but it didn't come off natural. And once you start doing the work, it just becomes, it's like if someone brought you in a room to talk about real estate, right? You fucking got it. But to bring it back, so you've been in the AI realm or utilizing AI, say comfortably for maybe the past 2 to 3 years. What does it feel like to watch something compound like this in real time? And what has surprised you most about the pace?
Even though I've talked about it endlessly, what has surprised me most about the pace is the pace. It still is hard to get your head around how incredibly fast it is disrupting everything, everywhere. That can be scary, but it also can be exciting. My 18-year-old son built a platform when he was 17. And I won't get into the details of what the platform does, but it works and is in discussions to sell the platform to a much bigger platform now. Just us messing around and starting with things we enjoy, right? We did the Call of Duty app because we enjoyed playing Call of Duty, and that gets the kind of juices flowing. I then shifted and pivoted hard into all of the real estate problem solving because that also gets me excited. But he built this thing around golf and it works. And now he's talking about selling his interest to a much bigger platform. That's incredible opportunity for kids. Yet we're not teaching it in school. In fact, we're banning it in school.
Which is
It's so crazy. We've got to move past this. We have to fund education to the end of the earth. And with that, but we cannot change the way things are done. You know how many times I hear in high level meetings, well, it's just the way we do it.
it's so scared of change.
Yeah, it's just the way we do it. It's just the way that things get done. I was on a very high level call earlier today talking about a maddening process. It wasn't education, but it was something else I'm passionate about. And I said, where is this written? Where is it written that we do it this way? Is there a law I need to have changed? Is there a bylaw I need to have changed? Turns out it's not written anywhere. Well, it's just the way we've been doing it. Okay, but we see the problem. We see the solution. Let's change the way we're doing it. But we're so institutionalized and people get so radical when you talk about education and term limits and these big initiatives. They just feel a certain way and they don't even know why. Because they've been pounded with messaging. Right?
The best analogy that I can think of there is if you compare that corporate structure or work structure to religion, and you've made the comparison so many times about where in the Bible does it say you have to fast for 40 days and 40 nights?
Sacrifice.
Show it to me. But it's not there. But we got to do it. Why? I don't understand.
Though the reason why is all of these institutions have been set up to prevent you from questioning, to prevent you from thinking outside of the box. And it's not the educator's fault today. I'm not big on saying it's anyone's fault. I think I know what happened, but let's give everyone a pass. Who cares? Change it. Get kids inspired.
It's like when you talk about the lawmakers, it's like, who cares what you're doing now and who's right, who's wrong? Get in a room, whiteboard it out, and come with
figure
the
it
fucking
out.
solution.
3 hours, whiteboard and a marker. Give me any problem, and we'll work through it.
Am I your biggest problem?
Yeah.
You can't fix
Except
me.
for you. Not you, Mike. You I can't fix.
So last time we spoke about Goldman Sachs said 300 million jobs could be replaced by AI. But which ones do you see most at risk right now? Maybe you could rank the industries that are in the crosshairs, not in 10 years, right now.
So just to be clear, they're all in the crosshairs right now. Where does the radical change come in a disproportionate way? First will be customer interaction, customer service, data entry.
Office support,
Yeah. That's where the disruption is happening quickest. But because AI is not what people think it is on the surface, I think a lot of companies moved a little too quick to make changes and replacements and have not really understood the negative impact on the customer. And there are still plenty of other options out there, no matter what industry you're in, to go someplace else, right? Like, remember how maddening it was when you would call and get a animated or a voice person on customer service? Like, this is that on steroids.
Yeah.
And with that comes a drop off in that experience. So I think I know that's the first wave. We're already seeing it, but it'll go too far, and then hopefully the pendulum swings back.
And there was a report that McKinsey projects that 14% of employees globally will need to change careers entirely by 2030 due to AI, robotics. And just back to the point of, if you're not aligned,
Are those 14% waking up and saying, "Oh my God, I don't get to go to work today. I love that place. I can't wait to be there. It makes me so happy"? No, they're thinking, "Fuck, I've got to put food on the table. I've got to live." And there's ways to offset that. And UBI or UHI is definitely going to be a byproduct of it. But for those 14% of people, and it's more than 14%, folks, I don't care what the report's telling you, it's an opportunity to do something different.
you touched on this briefly when you spoke about Tony Robbins. And everybody's looking at AI as a tool. Search engine can do maybe edit a picture. It's something you use, but there's a whole other conversation about AI agents, which are systems that actually do the work for you anonymously. They make decisions, take action on their own. That is such a red flag. Red flag might be the wrong word to use, but what should people be understanding about AI agents in the workplace at their jobs, and how and why are most people not even aware that this thing is going
So
on?
first of all, you'll get out what you put in. The more time you spend defining, refining, putting safeguards, training, voice corpus, all the things that we've worked on, the better your agents will be. And I think there is an absolute wonderful place for those agents to do the things that don't spark for you at work. That's how I'm looking at it from a positive perspective. It's like there's a lot of things I hate to do, the ground and pound work, the research, that if you program it the right way, it'll do it for you. It'll collate it. It'll present it in a way, even in your voice, if you do enough homework on it, to get you to the place where you can speak from a place of authority and be super educated on it. For me personally, that's one of the things I hate to do is the research. This does it for you. So there's a great place for it. But you're going to get out of it what you put into it. These out of the box agents are really for baseline, repeatable tasks where there's almost never a bogey in the everyday operating system. Like it's got to do the exact same task every day. Like remember the show Lost? You have to press the button every 3 hours. Like
Never watched
an
it.
out of the box agent, I hate you, is good for a task that is that way. But they can be developed to the Tony Robbins example. That agent was thinking, Tony's at the top of his game. This is a leader. People are using these robots. This would be a tool for him. I want to get this for him, but I don't want to add anything to his plate because he's super busy. I don't want to spend his money because I probably shouldn't be spending his money if he doesn't know about it. So let me find a way to fucking connect with other AI agents and generate money to bankroll buying the robot so I could send it to Tony to improve his efficiency. That motherfucker put some time into developing that agent.
What's the danger that we're facing? Because you always say how nothing's real, right? The media is controlling what we see, what we hear. It might not even, it's the media and beyond, right? At what point should we have concern that now these AI search engines are controlling exactly what they want us to know here? Because you could ask AI a question, it goes and does the research, it's going to spit it out at you, and you're going to say, oh, okay, great. Majority.
Yes, but no.
That's what I'm saying.
You got to make sure that you give that AI real guardrails about what information you want. When should we have been concerned about it, Mike? 30 fucking years ago when the search engines came out, and we're doing the same thing. Right? Search engines are doing the same thing.
Still is.
Still is. So that's when we should have been concerned about it. So we're 3 decades late. But hey, no better time than the present.
Perfect example. And this is not choosing sides, just something that I witnessed and was able to observe while other people might have just turned a blind eye to it. During presidential election, you could type in, let's say, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden. Hillary Clinton goes to fundraiser to support children's cancer. Okay, that's really nice of you. And then you would type in Trump, and it's Trump raped somebody 30 years ago. It's like, did Trump do anything good?
And right there, you get the 2 camps. 95%, maybe more, are going to go bad orange man, bad Democrat, all the bad things you can connect to the Clintons, all the bad things you can connect to Trump. When you really should be stepping back going, I don't want anyone having the ability to tilt the information scale because I have kids, because I have brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, cousins, people I love. And I know that this is not reality. That's the problem, is we can't get past these camps that we're in, that they want us in, because when we're fighting here, nobody's looking here. You know, I had said a couple of, maybe it was more, maybe it was like 5 or 6 episodes ago, there's an unwritten contract, and I'm feeling that more and more, where people are going to say enough and start burning shit down. The electeds have to be real careful. The old way of doing things doesn't work anymore. We see what's going on and we're not happy. And so many more of us are not happy with the whole system that are breaking free of these chains. Do I have certain core beliefs that lean one way or the other? Yes, I do. But I have no identity with those groups. None. Because it's all fucking fake. And it's designed to keep us fighting. So we're not looking at the real problem going, hey, look at the World Cup videos that are going around. It's tough to not get emotional watching these things. Like, I have no beef with any of these people. Why are we constantly in a state of war? Not just USA, the world is in a constant state of war for all of recorded time. But we have no beef with these people. We just want to get together, have a few laughs, have a few drinks, relax, watch a game, chill. But this incredible tension is created, and these narratives are created that make us think it's okay to hate our neighbor, and they're our neighbors. The whole immigration discussion, same thing. You're left with this what feels like impossible situation this administration inherited, because things went so unfeathered and so unchecked for so long. And there are bad that have come in. What do you do? But I don't want those people being shipped back to a shithole country. I don't want people fucking rounded up and separated and sent back to terrible conditions. But if you're going to be the leader in the world, and this is something I struggle with personally, where is that line where it's like, all right, we got to fix our house. We're going to cut all this waste. We're going to take this money and actually give it to people who really need it. And we're going to build up opportunities for people all over the world. If you really get down to it, and that's not someone's goal, if someone's goal is fuck that person, they came from X, they don't deserve to be here, ship them back, and I don't care what their conditions are, they don't deserve to be here. Why? Because you happened to be born here? That's the only difference. It's the only difference, is we happen to be born in this country. Really?
And the bad part,
Care about your fucking neighbor.
the bad part about that statement is mimetic theory at its finest, because you could say that and then all of a sudden someone puts you in a camp.
Yes.
If you said the opposite, you're in a camp.
Yes.
But you're not in a camp because you have views on multiple things that either party could agree or disagree on, and you don't believe in the sides. It's what's right, what's wrong. And we need to get out of this fucking camp placement and bring solutions.
I was at a really great business event last week with some incredible people. Brilliant, brilliant people. And we had kind of a private dinner where some of us sat down and we're chatting away and introducing ourselves. And one of the ladies there said to me, you know, all right, you're up. Who are you? You know, what do you do? Tell us about you. And everyone to that point was, oh, I'm the CEO and founder of this, and I created this, and, you know, who created, I'm not going to mention it by name, but incredible products that we use every day. And I just blurted out, I'm a killer fucking dad. That's who I am. I'm a dedicated dad. I'm a pretty goddamn good husband. I'm a mentor. I'm a leader. I went on about my passions, talked about flight. I talked about everything but work, because it just struck me in the moment of like, who are you? You get that all the time. You're a Democrat or Republican, right? No, this is who I am. You could put whatever tag on me you want. I know what I am. And that's who I was. And I was the only person that gave a different answer. But then I started getting text messages over the next couple of days, thinking about what you said at dinner. You know, we lose sight of that. We don't frame ourselves that way. We're so connected to what we do. And I get it. We're at a business function. The whole point of it was networking. I get all of that, but that's not what I'm most comfortable with. Like, this is who I am.
It's the label that
The labels are where we get into trouble. And there's labels for everything.
I know you got to split, but I want you to paint a picture for me real quick because these are just talking points that we didn't get to last time. We could talk about any job in the world that could get replaced or have AI disrupt it some way, somehow. And there's certain positions out there that will say, well, AI can't take my job because I do this. Can you talk about that middle layer of employment where they think they're untouchable? Put a face on it. Who's the person? Put a job to it, right? A particular job that might say AI can't take their job. Give an example and how it could be coming or will be coming.
Yeah. So this is not to create fear. It's to create awareness so that you can get ahead of it, because nobody can take your job or replace you, but you. You have access to infinite wisdom, infinite power, and you are in control of your own destiny. That caveat being said, I've heard construction a lot. Like, wow, they're not going to get rid of, we build homes.
You need these hands.
And I sat in on a meeting and I watched robots the size of this building right now that are building homes at a fraction of the cost, at a fraction of the speed, and able to deliver it fully entitled, ready to go with assembly teams that put them together on the site. Right now, it's being done. And these micro factories will start appearing all over the country. And that's great opportunity. But ignorance is not bliss here. Learn it, understand it, learn yourself, understand yourself, get centered. And then you may find, I don't want to go spend the next 10 years fighting for this fucking job because I don't like it. I don't like what I'm doing. But AI has created a pathway where I can go do this. And I love doing this. Better alternative?
100%. Last one for today. And it is troubling when you think about it, and it touches on education, but kids, even including myself, are going into debt or are in current debt today studying for careers. What percentage of them are training for jobs that, and I don't expect you to have the exact statistic, but they're training for jobs that won't exist in their current form by the time they graduate. So what are they doing?
Are we capping that like at high school?
I'm looking at people who are putting education to college, because college is where you would.
So up till high school, 99.9% of the people are still in a curriculum that is not going to serve them. College forward, there are multiple universities that have caught on and are teaching systems that will be applicable. We don't know what it's going to be when those kids graduate, because the pace that this is evolving is so torrid. It's impossible to forecast what exactly a individual position is going to look like. All the more reason to learn it, learn yourself, do things that make you happy, and you'll find pathways to be creative and generate a living. But this is moving so quick. My son is going into his freshman year of college, and he's going on marketing and AI, and all that stuff is what he's leaning into. It'll give him some tools and it'll build some foundation and he'll build a network, but the job won't look the same that he's looking at in his senior year as he does in his freshman year. Does that make sense? So be adaptable, be centered, be comfortable.
But the one recurring thing I'm hearing over and over and over and over again, be adaptable, be centered, but most of all, be happy.
100%. You can't be, I don't think you can be centered and not be happy, right? You've got to find what is your center. What is your passion? For years, you lost mass communicating, right? I was here when we went through those exercises on finding your why, and you could see little bits of spark that day remind you of, I loved that.
Yeah.
I loved that. And my own way of half fucking torturing you, half empowering you, was trying to move you down a path of yes.
Yeah.
Be happy, enjoy it. And the universe will provide a million different ways to monetize it. Money is the root of all fucking evil. It is. It is. It just takes us off our marks everywhere. It compromises us as individuals. It compromises us as states, as countries, as religions. It compromises everything. Get centered.